Hello students, today we are going to move further ahead in our topic permutations and combinations. Our today's topic is permutations. Okay, now if you all recall, in my previous video I had discussed the fundamental principle of counting, and over there we had taken the various four-letter words which we could make with the letters of the word rose, or we were given some numbers 1 2 3 4 5, and from there we formed various two digit or three digit numbers which could be formed, or then we put some more restriction on it that we wanted two digit or three digit even numbers or odd numbers which can be formed. And then we further continued with taking the example of when we were also given 0 as one of the options. In each of those things we saw that suppose we were making a three-digit number simply without any more restriction of being an even or an odd number. So out of these numbers or digits, if we had to form a three-digit number, so first we will pick up three numbers. Let's say 2 3 4. This is a three-digit number, but if you just change the arrangement of these or write it as 3 2 4, this is yet another number which we get. Or if we write it as 4 2 3, this is again another number which we can get using the same three digits which we have picked up from the given numbers. Same way, if we have the letters of the word rose, we could make four-letter words. Like if I write R-O-S-E, this is one word. O-R-S-E, this is yet another word. Then we further change the arrangement. E-O-R-S, this is yet another word. So we can make different words by arranging all the letters in different manner. Or if we are making, let's say, a three-letter word out of it, so we could first choose any three letters, let's say R-O-S, and then each time we change the position of these alphabets, we keep getting different words, etc. Okay, so what we see is, if we are given various options to choose from, whether it is alphabets or it is numbers, we can make or form various words using all the letters given to us or some of the letters given to us by first picking up those letters or choosing those letters and then arranging them. Similarly, if you are given a set of numbers, okay, then we could make, suppose it's a six digits we are given, so we could make 6-digit numbers, or we could make 3-digit numbers, or 4-digit or 2-digit or 5-digit numbers, choosing some of the numbers or all of the numbers and then arranging them in different manners. Such arrangements of letters or of numbers taken some at a time or all at a time is called as permutation. So how do we define permutation? A permutation is an arrangement in a definite order. Here the order is very important, because if you just see, whether you write 2 3 4 or you are writing 3 2 4, the order of writing has only changed. It's the same digits which are being used, but the order of writing is changed and we get different numbers. So a permutation is an arrangement in a definite order. Now, arrangement of what? Of a number of objects. Those objects could be alphabets, they could be numbers, or they could be things. Of a number of objects taken some or all at a time. So here we have seen we have taken 3 digits at a time, so some. Here we have taken all 4 alphabets at a time, so all at a time. Here again the words formed are by on taking only 3 alphabets out of 4. So I'm again repeating, what is permutation? Permutation, basically you can write that permutation is nothing but an arrangement, is an arrangement. So each arrangement is called a different permutation. Okay, so I'm again repeating, a permutation is an arrangement. Now what kind of arrangement? In a definite order. Okay, arrangement of what? Of a number of objects taken some or all at a time. Now we can categorize this permutations into two parts. First thing is that permutations when all the objects are distinct, and the other one is permutations when not all objects are distinct. Now what do we mean by not all are distinct? That some can be distinct, but we do have some objects which are not distinct, and here all are distinct. So first we will consider this case, that is the first case is permutations when all the objects are distinct. So what are we considering? It's a case like rows. All the objects given, we are to form either two letter words or 3 letter words or 4 letter words using the alphabets of or letters of the word rows, and clearly every alphabet which is now here the object is the alphabet of this word rows, so every alphabet is unique or distinct, and that this is the case which comes under this, that permutations when all objects are distinct. Now we'll first take up theorem 1, which says that the number of permutations of n different objects taken are at a time where r can lie between 0 and n, including n but excluding 0, and the objects do not repeat, is n, n minus 1, n minus 2 till n minus r plus 1. Okay, and it is denoted by, which is denoted by NPR. Now, so what does this theorem say? The number of permutations of n different objects taken are at a time where r lies between 0 and n. What is the meaning of this? Total number of objects, let's say we are taking rows. Total number of objects is n, taken r at a time. Means you can take some at a time or all at a time. So this r can be any number lying between 0 and 4, because these are 4 letters which are given to us. So any number lying between 0 or 4. So that's what we say, that the object taken r at a time where r lies between 0 and n. And you can even take all at a time, and that is why it is r can be equal to n. But of course we have not considered the case of 0, because then it becomes a trivial case that you are not choosing any out of this. And the objects do not repeat is given by n, n minus 1, n minus 2 till this. So let's quickly do the proof of this, and then we will see how we write it. And we write this as NPR. Okay, so the proof, if you just take, now there are, suppose we are given n objects, distinct objects. Okay, distinct objects. Now this case is different from repetition allowed and repetition not allowed. Distinct means the objects which are given to us are all different. Okay, and then the statement says that when the objects do not repeat, The objects do not repeat is that you are filling it up. Now objects do not repeat means they are distinct, and now you are taking two cases in this when you are taking it without repetition. Okay, they do not repeat. So we have to fill up n places. If suppose you are given n objects and you are filling it with r objects, so r places is to be, you are choosing r out of n and you are arranging them. Okay, so given n objects which are distinct, and to arrange r out of them. So basically there are r places to be filled, that is r places are to be filled. Now since it is without repetition, what happens? The number of options available to fill up the first place is n. All n objects can be filled up. Now the second place, one element is already been used here, so the second place has only n minus 1 objects or choices to be filled up. Now two places have already been filled, means two objects are gone. The third place only n minus 2 options are available going in. So this is the first place, this is the second place, this is the third place, this is the rth place. Going in this manner, the number of options which are available to fill up the rth place is n minus r minus 1. Okay, now how do we get this? This we'll do by the method of trials. Okay, suppose we are given 7 objects are given. Objects are given and we have to arrange 4 out of them. It means R is 4 and n is 7. So there are 4 places to be filled up out of 7 things. Okay, so first place has 7 options. One place is already filled up. The second place has 6 options. 2 have been filled up now. 2 places have been filled up and 2 options are gone. The options available to fill up the third place are 5. So now 3 options are gone and the options available to fill up the fourth would be 4. Okay, now what is this equal to? Now here, how do we get this 4? This is n minus r minus 1. That is, n is 7. Okay, which are total number of elements given to us. From there, what do you get? You have the total number of options which are possible for the fourth place. Fourth place is n minus, that is 7 minus the 3 options which are gone before. So 3 option means 4 minus 1, 3 options gone before. So 7 minus 3, that is 4 options available to fill up the fourth place. Similarly, if you could check here, the same rule applies, that in order to fill up, this is actually the third position. So in order to fill up the third position, what do we have? N minus r minus 1 options available. N is 7. R is the third position minus. So before filling up the third position, 2 options are gone. What are the 2 options? 2 options means third position. Before this, 2 are gone. That is r minus 1. So 3 minus 1, which is 2, and which amounts to 7 minus 2, which is 5, and that's how you get the fifth position. So you can generalize it by saying that in order to fill up the rth place, the number of options available are n, total number given, minus the number already used before the rth place, and this is the r minus 1th place. So from n you remove r minus 1 options which have been used so far, and this gives us n minus r minus 1 is equal to n minus r plus 1. So let's again write it down. There are r places to be filled up. This is the first place, this is the second, this is the third, this is the rth place. The number of options available to fill up the first place are n, then n minus 1, then n minus 2, and going in this manner the rth place can be filled up in n minus. Now prior to this there are r minus 1 places which have been filled up, so r minus n minus 1, which amounts to r minus n plus 1. And then going by the fundamental principle of counting, the possible number of arrangements, that is permutations, is, now what do we have? N into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into, going in this manner, n minus r plus 1, and this we write as NPR. Okay, this is a symbol for writing the permutation of n things taken r at a time is written as NPR, and it can be written as n minus 1, n minus 2, and n minus r plus 1. This is what the first theorem is, when all objects are distinct and repetition is not allowed. This is the case when all objects are distinct and repetition is not allowed. Okay, now if you can see this is a very cumbersome way of writing and remembering the permutation. So we want to find a shorter and a much crisper way of writing this formula for NPR, and here our factorial will come into our aid. So here factorial notation, which we did in the beginning of this chapter, notation comes to our aid in writing this expression for NPR in a short and crisp manner. Now let's see how. So we can write, now if you just see, we know that NPR is equal to n minus 1, n minus 2, and so on, n minus r plus 1. Now if you just observe carefully, this is the product of r consecutive natural numbers. Okay, this is the first position, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the rth. So these are r consecutive natural numbers, means every natural number is one less than what the one which is written prior to it. Okay, so what we can do is, and the last number which is being used is n minus r plus 1. Suppose we had continued in this manner only till, so if you keep on reducing with every step, if you keep on reducing one natural number, so the next number will come to be n minus r, then next will come out to be n minus r minus 1. Going in this manner we will get 3, then 2, and ultimately we will get the smallest natural number, which is 1. Now in order to complete this series to 1, we had to multiply the given expression by this term, that is n minus r minus 1, and so on till 3 to 1. So obviously we can't simply multiply the numerator, we have to multiply the denominator also by the same expression, and this is what we get. Now if we observe carefully, the numerator is nothing but the product of all consecutive natural numbers starting from n and ending at 1, and this is nothing but factorial n. Same way, if you observe the denominator is nothing but the product of consecutive natural numbers starting with n minus r and ending at 1. And so this is nothing but the expression for n minus r factorial. And so we get a formula for NPR in a very short and crisp manner, and this is n factorial over n minus r, which becomes the formula for factorial. Now, if you observe, let's find some particular values of this. Okay, suppose we have to find what is the meaning of NPN. That is, what is the meaning of NPN by definition is the arrangement of n distinct objects taken all at a time. All at a time means we are, suppose it's the word rose, so we are taking all the alphabets of rose at a time, means we are making all possible 4-letter words. So now what's the meaning of NPN? Let's see. It will be n factorial over n minus n factorial, which will amount to n factorial over 0 factorial. But as discussed before, 0 factorial is always 1. So it becomes n factorial over 1, which is n factorial. And so we get NPN is again a standard result which you have to remember. It is equal to 1. And this you can verify also. If there are n places to be filled up, what do you get? These are first, then second, this is third, and this is the nth place. So we have n options here, then we have n minus 1 options, then n minus 2, proceeding in this manner, n minus 1, which is 1, and here you will have 2 options, n minus 1th position. So this is nothing but NPN will be nothing but n minus 1, n minus 2, 3, 2, 1, which is n factorial, which again confirms this which we obtained from the result, that is NPN is equal to n factorial. Now let's see what is NP0. By definition, NP0 means you have not, it is the arrangement of of n things taken 0 at a time. Now let's see by definition what can we say. So we can have n factorial over n minus 0 factorial, which is n factorial over n factorial, which is 1. So NP0 comes out to be 1, which is true as there is only one possible way of not choosing any number or object out of given n objects. And so this result can be generalized to, we can write n minus r factorial, where now we had started this definition with r lies between 0 and n, including n but not including 0. So we can further generalize it to, we can include this result even for r equal to 0. Okay, so with this we come to a very important result, that is the arrangements. A permutation is an arrangement of n objects taken some or all at a time, and it is denoted by NPR. And if we are choosing, or if we are taking the permutation of r things, n things taken r at a time, when all the objects are distinct, first thing, and the repetition is not allowed, then this is the formula. Thank you.